Say, except the corn of wheat falls to the ground and die, it abides alone. That means Jesus' idea of multiplication is not in traveling from place to place if it is not God's agenda. Jesus' idea of multiplication is to stay where God says to stay. And as he reduces, God himself will amplify him. There was a time they came to arrest him to make him a king. Wouldn't it have been better? As a king, at least he will have an army to fight Herod and to bring emancipation to Israel. The Bible says he ran away. I said, no, that's not a kind of kingdom I'm building. You know, because we have been trained by human wisdom, we think becoming powerful is to canvass support and to be accepted in every quarter. There are certain destinies that can only be fulfilled on the cross. It is when you are being crucified that you are winning the whole world. Men reject you, but that rejection becomes a mystery that gives you the world as an inheritance. This is why he said, if the princes of this world had known, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. Jesus was rejected even of the men he healed. He was nailed to the cross, but at the end of the day, that became the doorway to winning the world. There will be a season in your life where many open doors will come. Men will bring you gifts, and God will say no, and he won't tell you why. And the same gift you are rejecting, you will see the many needs that you should have met just in the twinkling of an eye. But God said no. And God said no. You are hoping an angel will appear in your room and say, you have done well, my sister. God will be quiet for 10 years. And you won't know why. When I started traveling, the first 2 years of my journey, I was not permitted to take honorarium. Meanwhile, I borrowed money to travel in most of my journeys. They invite you. They just give you the date and time. Find your way to come there. But at the end of the day, make sure you are there. And then sometimes we will borrow money. We will squeeze ourselves in Sienna buses. Travel for 8 hours. And they won't even afford to book a hotel for you a day before. Because it's a waste of money. So you will travel in the day you start ministry. So you are reaching the city around 7 p.m. Rush to take a shower. And then you are going there. Sometimes you come late. There's no time to take shower. You will just come and go straight. They will look at you and say, man of God, the meeting is already ongoing. Choir is ministering now. I traveled for 8 hours. What do you mean choir is ministering now? They are telling you we don't have enough time for you to refresh. And we will leave that place and go and minister. When you finish ministering, they want to give you the little honorarium that you should have paid your debt and kept something to keep you. God will say, don't take it. Many times when I travel, I come back and I'm coming back confused because I'm coming back into debt. And God will be quiet. But a point came. As you journey through that ladder, they invite you to talk in one session and they give you 3 million. You didn't say anything new. But when you were dying, God saw that now he can hand over power to you. A point came. The invitations become too much. You don't even know which one to go for. There are certain meetings we go for. Only the flight fare is 3 million. And you are going to talk for 1 day to come back. And then you are wondering, what am I going to say in 2 hours? They don't care what you say. They know there is an authority invested in you. That when you talk, even if they don't enjoy it, it will shift them. Because they have seen. They have seen that God is with you. There was a time when you had to pray in tongues for 3 days to go and preach in a meeting. And you will not be honored. Now, you just stroll into a meeting and it looks as if heaven will fall. Not because you said anything special. God have trusted you. That is how kingdom move forward. There are many times when God will tell you, forget about the open door. It will slow you down. Wait for me. And when you wait on God, when he shows up, you will no longer travel by the chariot of the king. You will now travel by the wind of the spirit. Because there are two things that move the man forward. There is the chariot of the king. Elijah said, go tell Ahab, I hear the sound of an abundance of rain. Let him go ahead. He had mastered how to die to human approval. He had mastered how to die to open door. He has found another technology in the spirit. And the king that had the best chariot that should have given Elijah a lift went ahead. But when he left, the Bible said in 1 Kings 18 verse 45, it said the hand of God came upon Elijah. He said he outran. The things you are rejecting today because God told you. It looks as if you are not wise. But when the hand of God comes, the people who went ahead of you 4 years ago, they will come back to you and say, help us. Help us. And you will know what is the technology. You followed God. The doors that God didn't allow you enter, you didn't enter. The relationship that God didn't allow you, you didn't take it. Have you not seen many people? The young man comes to your life, he wants to sleep with you. And you say, I must get married. Because you have seen your mates getting married. You have imagined yourself in a white gown. Oh, that's the way of death. If it's not of God, refuse it. They come to many places, they tell you, just lie, say one or two things, and then they will come out and clap for you. No, refuse to lie. Better be demoted now and wait for God to lift you. If it is for compromise, reject it. That thing you call demotion is actually promotion in the spirit. Because for a man to be promoted in the natural, he is first of all promoted in the spirit. And when the spirit wants to promote you, he will test you. There are too many Christians compromising because they want to be in the good books of people, because they want to secure certain open doors, and those compromises become the reason why God never trusts them. This is why the kingdom is suffering. We are many, but there are many people compromising. The men that should be able to challenge Egypt have already bargained with Egypt. The men that should bring Babylon down have already bargained with Babylon because they wanted to be in the good books of the king. The three Hebrew boys say, oh king, we will not be careful to answer you in this matter. If it is this matter, we will not be careful to answer you. If you like, make the fire 7 times hotter. They stood their ground. And when the king, they will not say, you are bold, they will leave you. When you talk, they will do it. The king didn't say, these people are bold, we'll leave them. The king actually said, go and intensify the fire. They threw the boys into the fire. But while they were yet in the fire, the first person who noticed was the king himself. He said, who is the fourth man? Who is the fourth man? The fourth man comes in the fire. He doesn't come outside the fire. He comes in the fire. But if you compromise, you will never see that. Jesus knew this. It was time to go to the cross, not to fraternize with the Greek. It would have given him momentary pleasure, momentary acceptance, momentary approval. But he knew where God was taking him. He rejected it, but it translated to promotion. Many have not died to human approval. They have not died to open doors that God has no signature on. This is why we don't have influential men. I know you have traveled out of the country, but onto what? Onto what? The job you are doing now, I know it's a lucrative job, but how did you get it? Is it by compromise? The connections you have today, is that where God wants you to be, or you too want to belong? You want a momentary approval. You want a title. Oh no, your destiny is about to be bargained. Stand your ground. It says, be still, and you will see the salvation of God. The second death you must die to is death to human approval. Let that anxiety not push you. Relax. The person dealing with you is called Ancient of Days. It's not regulated by your age. It can use you when you are 15 and it can use you when you are 45. The motivational speaker can come to you and tell you, if you are a fool at 40, you are a fool forever. That is not in the Bible. If it's for Jesus, remain a fool. If it's for Jesus, remain a fool. And see how God lifts you up, and your lifting will be an embarrassment to darkness. Number 3, death that you must die to. How many minutes do I have? Okay, I'm seeing now. The third death you must die to is death to self-preservation. I'm showing you what causes men to really command the kinds of power that is a mystery, even in the spirit realm. God entrusts so much to such men, and you are wondering. They can wake up in the morning and say it will not happen. And this it will not happen. It's not a family affair. It's a national affair. They didn't fast on the mountain. They just said it will not happen. And then you will discover everything said and done from whatever quarter it is. That thing they said stood. Because heaven and earth will move for his word to stand. These are the kind of men we are talking about. And if such men don't rise in the last day, the level of wickedness that is coming. We need men that can speak and the sun will stand still, like the days of Joshua. We need men that can speak and the border of a territory will be secured by the anointing. When the enemy is entering into churches, killing people, doing all kinds of things, the level of lawlessness, are we not in the habitation of cruelty? This is not a time to play religion. We need things that cannot be denied. A man can tell you, you are preserved, and you are preserved. That's what the patriarchs of old commanded. He said, the Lord bless you with corn and wine. He had no regard for inflation or deflation. Your heavens are open. It is like that no matter what happens. Everybody can run from Gera to Egypt. You stay still. The man who spoke over you told you you will not lack. And you can dig well in dry season. Water will come out. Others will come and think that environment there is water. They will dig. They won't find water. They will collect your well. You will leave that well. The water will dry. Because what is producing water is not the soil. It's the words spoken over you. Because a patriarch spoke. A man that died spoke. And when such men speak, the jealousy of God is released. How do you think your children can be preserved if you don't have power in the spirit? Somebody goes to a mall, a depraved person and demonized person just comes and shoots at random. How do you think your children can excel if you don't have the power to say be blessed and nothing can stop them? In the world where there's no regard for competence, you can have first class, somebody with third class gets the job because he caused somebody. We need powers beyond human connection. We need powers beyond manipulation. Men that can move the heavens must rise again. And the way God gives this power is to test you. He will check your heart. He said, I, the Lord, I try the heart. I test the range to give up to every man as his way should be.